Hey, sorry everybody for the delay. You notice that song sounds so fast. That just sped it up, I think about 10 times faster than the song really is.
I have no idea. Apparently, a lot of technical difficulty tonight.
Did you see that? Did you hear that? It was like,
I was looking at something when that happened. I wasn't even paying attention to the song.
oh, okay, because it was so.
Uh,
Anyway,
so
how's
as
everybody
as
doing?
you can hear, Mark is on his regular computer mic, and that's the way it's going to be tonight because there's something not working.
I bought a new Apollo Twin. The other one died. I'm sending it off to UA.
What did the other one do again?
It just stopped having any output whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
It got really, really hot, stopped having output, and then when I shut it off, it wouldn't power back on again.
Oh yeah, it's definitely screwed.
Yeah, something internally got really hot.
Yeah.
So they're taking care of me. So
good,
which is awesome. So, but I did buy another one. So I was just like, I thought I was going to be able to use it for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh well, it is what it is. So
wait, stop talking for a second. Huh. It's weird. In the background, I hear stuff on from your thing. It's like just gurgling in the background.
Well, I do have my amp on. I can turn that off. I have a little hiss, slight hiss.
No, I don't know if that's what it's doing. That's not what I'm hearing. Kind of. It's like almost sounds like someone's talking really quietly somewhere, but not talking. Just like it's like a.
Dude, I don't know what's going on tonight. Sorry, everybody. I don't know what's up, but it's been a while since we did a show, so we thought we'd do an Ask Dave show. If you guys have any questions for Dave? Oh God, it's been a long week, man. I hope everybody's doing good. Let's see, we got a lot of the usual folks.
Wow, it's driving me crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it that noticeable?
Yeah, even when you don't talk, it's like in the background.
I don't even know what that could be. That's just my internal speakers.
No, it's like a different sound. It's funny. It's what I heard when you were trying to use the other mic too.
I don't know. Anybody in the audience hear it? Anybody else? Try turning the amp off at least. Sure, I'll turn the amp off at least.
No, that's not it. Sounds like you underwater submarine. The bubbles are going to the surface.
Sounds like coffee brewing, they said.
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
Fuck. Well, I'm sorry, guys. Do you still want to do the show?
Try turning off the UA in your audio, what you're monitoring through. Just monitor everything through the computer.
Okay. How's that?
Oh, it's still there. Now, do we have an echo now? No, it's gone.
No. Well, I'm sure this is very interesting for everybody.
It's underwater bubbles. Yes, it is. That's so weird. What the hell is that?
I have no idea, man.
Something plugged into your computer or something near something or something.
Nothing.
Oh, well.
Nothing's plugged in. Do you want to continue?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll try to ignore it.
So it sounds like wind noise. It's not that bad. Well, I promise I'll get this fixed for the next show. We'll figure it out.
Hook up a wah to it. It does kind of sound like the wind, except the only thing is that when neither of us speak, it's still there.
Okay.
L. Scott Music. We'll pretend we're in Octopus's garden.
Okay. Is that any better?
Unplug the lightning cable that goes to the UA.
Okay.
Or you got anything else on or around that's attached to the computer?
Oh, I do have the my Captor X.
Unplug whatever's attached to the computer.
All right. Well, now you guys are gonna have to see my crotch.
We can't see your crotch.
Unplugging that.
Wait.
That.
Oh, we lost you. We lost your video.
Did that do anything?
Except we don't have video on you now. Did you unplug your video?
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you, just we don't have any video. You're just a round circle that's speaking. Wait, now we do. Oh, now we have just your chest. Okay, this is funny.
Oh my God. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on with my camera now.
Must have turned it off.
And I can't even hear you.
You can't hear me.
I can't hear you. It's gone totally south.
The noise is gone.
Oh my God, this is horrible. I don't know what's going on. Give me one more minute. Entertain them, Dave.
Okay, let's look for questions. And Mark's having a bad time. Oh God, let's see. What do you got here? Oh no. I see Plexico, you're congratulating Mark on the top 25 healthcare peeps. And I see that. And let's get some questions in here. Sorry, I'm just trying to scroll right now. Anything new from the BE line? Not really. There is a product coming that I can't say what it is, but it is coming sometime soon. Beginning of the year at some point, maybe March-ish or something. And that will be a very cool little product. You guys will love it. See, I'm out of practice at this. I normally don't scroll through the questions. Mark handles that. I think I also answered Colin James' question with the last thing I just was talking about, and I can't tell you about it yet. And now Mark's completely gone. What else we got? Wish I could hear you guys. This is lonely. Hint, hint, hint. Are there plans to do a Synergy Jubilee module? Not to my knowledge, no. Although that wouldn't be a terrible idea. but we'll see. Maybe I'll talk to them about that. Bradley Wood said, any inside scoop on Shugang coming back? Yes. It got delayed a little bit, but they say they might be shipping tubes in February-ish. Could be March, but we'll see if that really happens. And we'll see if the tubes are still good, if they can still make them. I hope so. I'm hoping for some preamp tubes, please. Give me some of the Chinese preamp tubes back. Sean Romas, what tubes would you swap out to lower the gain on a Synergy Plexi module? I don't know if I do that, but you could try the if the controls are facing you, the left-hand tube, and you could maybe try an AT7 in there, see what you get. The left one, if the controls are facing you in the module, that might get you where you want it.
Can you hear me?
Yes. And we can see you.
Oh my God. Can you still hear that noise?
No.
Okay. Well, that's better.
Well, I don't think. Wait a minute. No, it's pretty good right now.
Okay.
I don't know. I hear a faint thing every once in a while, but it's way better.
Okay. I'm so sorry, bro.
I said it was getting lonely here.
It's hard to do with
I'm like trying to scroll questions and answer them at the same time.
All right. I know that there was some super chats too.
There was one congratulating you.
Oh yeah? On what?
And I addressed that on the top 25 healthcare peeps.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
that was
the only super chat I see so far.
You know, let me get to the super chats and I'll just check, make sure. I'll take care of that. So, give me 1 second.
Yeah, that noise is back.
It's back now?
Yeah. Must have something to do with maybe the mic or something or something. Who knows, your computer.
We'll check it out later. So super chats here. And then I'll just get to the see purchase super chats. And I'll see everybody's super chat for tonight. Oh, there was one from Plexico.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was more.
Nope.
Oh, all right. Well, thanks.
That's what I said.
Oh, my bad. Well, thanks, Plexico. I appreciate it. That was
Blues player says, have you ever heard a model of a Freeman amp that you were really impressed with? What? Who are you addressing? You're asking me if I've ever heard a model of my amp that I'm impressed with? I don't know. I don't know where you're getting at here.
G-Man wants to know if I've been drinking. No, I have not been drinking. I wish I was. At this point. Yeah, I did a reboot. So, all right, we'll get to more questions. Dave, are you still backed up on mods?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not taking any right now for like 3 months or something, or check back with me in 3 months, see where I'm at. But yeah, there's just too many here, and I just can't. There's some ones that have been here a long time I got to get to, and
yeah,
and I got a million other things to do too.
Yeah. Here's Cars in Depth. Dave, do you know who actually designed the 5F6A bassman Leo Taveras. Also, you should have Buck Waller from ISP and formerly Rocktron on the show.
I agree with Buck. Sure, that'd be great. I think we already talked about that, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And the original bassman was originally, I think, directly out of the RCA tube manual, if I'm not mistaken. So,
who wrote the tube manual?
I don't know. That was a really long time ago, man.
Yeah, but that's wild that they just had like these designs. Like,
Sure. Yeah.
Wow.
What's new for NAMM 2023? I don't know. I'm not going. I mean, I might go, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I'd love to go back one day. I really would. I really enjoyed NAMM. I had a lot of fun, but to work there and everything is quite hard.
Oh yeah.
But to just walk around and have fun, it's fun.
Oh, here's one. Stay curious. Dave, if you're stuck on an island and all you have is a Mesa amp, which one would you choose? Oh boy. Let's go old school. Mark II C plus. Maybe newer school, maybe like a Lone Star or something. A pretty good amp.
Yeah, I've never really played many Mesas before.
Okay, here's
Dave has good ears.
well, it's pretty much gone now. It was louder before.
So weird.
Yeah, I think it's gone actually now. So, Dave, I need to replace transformers and a choke in a Brown Bandmaster 6 G7A. Why do you have to replace all the transformers? That's what I'd like to know. Please enlighten us. I wouldn't think everything was bad, or did they just are they not on the amp? I have no idea what you're doing. To be honest, for those, probably, I mean, you can get some Haber ones maybe, but I mean the ones that Hammond make for a lot of replacements are great. So that's what I say.
Okay. Speaking of Mesa, what's your opinion on the Badlander? I have never played one.
I've not heard it in person. I don't know. I don't really love rectifiers in general, so no, it's a sound. Some people like it. Badlander's based on a rectifier, so some tweaks.
Purposeful Porpoise. I've actually already done this, but not. I didn't put the ombre up to 8, but I turned the ombre up pretty loud, put a nice boost in front of it, and put it through a 4x12.
Yeah, it should be great.
It sounded fantastic. It sounded like a Marshall almost. So it's a great amp, especially through a 4x12. I put it through your 4x12, Dave.
Yeah.
It sounded great.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Sure. Why not? They should make a head.
I think they do.
Do they?
I think they do make a head now.
Oh.
Yep, they have a combo and the head.
That's cool.
Yeah. Let's see.
3J Music says, "Hey Dave, if I'm using the JJ Junior more for silent recording than using it with an actual cab, am I doing it any harm to it?" Nope. Has a built-in load, so you're not doing really any harm to it at all.
That's good. I don't see that one.
It's above LRM guitars.
Okay. Great show, guys. Dave, I just purchased a Fender Rivera Deluxe Reverb Mod 2. What are your thoughts?
Is that the newer Fender Rivera thing? Well, if so, I mean, if it's sort of like what the mods he used to do, on the old deluxes, they were pretty cool. I don't know. What do you think of it? I haven't actually heard the new one, so I'm not sure.
I am still so tempted to get one of those old Super Champs.
I revisited one of those recently, and it's not quite as great as I remember it being.
Okay.
So,
really?
Yeah. I did go down this deep dive today, though, of I had this urge for some reason to make like a kind of a vintage Boss pedal board, and or at least some, even small, like just some key things.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like looking around. I'm like, ooh, do I get a DD2 or DD3?
Mm.
And then I went down a deep dive of some videos where they're showing the differences. And one guy showed the differences of every Boss delay. So he went from DD2 to DD3 to DD5 to DD6, 7, and DD20. And that was rather enlightening. And by far, the DD2 was the best.
Really?
The first one, yeah.
I have a DD7.
Actually, the DD7 actually was maybe my second favorite. So DD3 was just a little thinner and less rich than the DD2. DD5 was about the same as the DD3, but good. DD6 seemed to sound the worst. And then DD7 was better than 3 through 6. So
interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was just like, just what I was looking for. So I bought a DD2. And a vintage CE2 chorus. Those are the two things I bought.
The other pedal I was playing with recently, a Boss pedal, is the Octave, the OC5.
Oh yeah, I have an older one, OC. I don't know which one it is, Octaver or something.
Really cool pedals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have a different problem, Mark. You're too loud.
Now I'm too loud.
Yeah, your mic's a little on the loud side.
Well, I think I might be able to do something about that.
Just a little.
Ay.
Well, it's okay. It's better than. But the sound's gone at least.
That's so weird. All right, let's see. Oh, is that a little better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay. All right. Robert Bogdan, you have to go to NAMM twice to realize once is enough.
And what happens if you've gone like, I don't know, 35 times? Well, okay, no, I missed 1 year, so 34 times.
Yeah, I can imagine why you're done. I get it. But
yeah, I know, but I'll miss it.
Yeah, there's things about you miss going to see all the new stuff and
Right.
Have you addressed this? What's going on with Freeman guitars? Who's making them? Thanks, Josh.
Billy Rowe from Rock and Roll Relics. That's what's happening.
Is he making all of the guitars or?
There is going to be some from someone else too, but we won't go there yet.
Oh, okay.
But they're great.
Awesome. I haven't seen them. Are they still pumping them out? They're pumping guitars out?
Billy has been making guitars for a while. Yeah. Not pumping them out. I think it's kind of at a slow snail's pace, but
Oh, are they on a custom order basis or just what?
No custom orders anymore at all.
So it's whatever you guys make.
It's whatever we make and whatever we put up for sale or offer to dealers. At least for the currently. Man, custom order is hard. I mean, to keep a flow going and to be able to produce guitars on a fast basis, I mean, custom orders are not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. Let's see. Have you ever heard a model of a Freeman amp that you were really impressed with?
We already did that.
Oh, yeah.
And we're confused by that question.
I wonder if he meant modeling, like a actual, like someone profile.
Oh, maybe that's what you're talking about. Oh, I see. Well, our own plugins, they work really well. Some of Michael Nielsen's Kemper profiles of our stuff are quite good. I mean, to be honest, the BE, the whatever it's called, I don't know what it's called, in the Line 6 stuff's good.
The Helix?
Yeah. Placator, I think it's called.
Oh.
Yeah. Dave, thoughts on a small old school Alamo amp? A few of those have come through over the years, and I don't know, they're kind of ratty little combo amps. They're kind of neat. Pretty cool.
Bark Eater, Dave, please do a late 50s Fender high watt Tweed twin with your twist on it. Joe Bonamassa bought all the originals.
Maybe. Never know. I mean, we still have a vintage line to fill out, so but you know, getting closer to that, so we'll get there.
I saw that question. Okay.
Is George Tripp's ever going to be on? I guess when we ask him.
Yeah, I don't think we've asked him yet.
I don't know why I just don't send him a message and ask him.
I heard from somebody on Instagram today, this guy Richard, that he got a Headfirst amp and was blown away by it. Loves it.
Cool, great.
Super thrilled. I was like, that's awesome. I'm glad Jason's getting some business. Will there ever be a 100-watt version of the Runt?
So wait a minute. Runt's a Fendery clean channel and you mean like a cheaper 100-watt version or something? Or you know, it's a BE channel and a Fender style clean channel. So guess the closest thing we'd have to that might be the Steve Stevens amp with a kind of more of a Fendery clean channel and a BE sort of style channel.
I've heard videos of that amp, the V2. It sounds so good.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Oh man, just thicker and throatier, and yeah, it's great.
You don't have room for it, Mark.
No, I can't do it.
You have to get rid of some guitars and stack the amps higher.
It's not happening. I
Add on to your house, you know. Yourself into the music man cave.
Maybe one day when we move, but I'll probably be downsizing at that point.
Not if you move somewhere cheaper.
True. Mark and Dave, do you like the band Typo Negative? I've not listened to them much.
I did some work for I think the guitar player in that a long time ago, but yeah, I don't really listen to them much myself either.
Sorry. Dave, sorry if this is a dumb question. I have no idea. Can you explain what a rectifier is and how it differs from amps you prefer? From fans of the wild. It's not a dumb question. That's a good question.
Well, I mean, a rectifier tube is simply a tube that converts AC voltage to DC voltage. That's all it does. As far as what it does to the tone, it's ever so slightly saggier sounding, a little slower in its sound, but not night and day difference. Some of what you hear, like when you swap a tube rectifier for a solid state, is that a solid state rectifier will give you a smidge more voltage out of it. And that's really what you're kind of hearing. You're hearing the slightly higher voltage, so it's a little bolder and a little louder, sort of seemingly. Sounds, I mean, a tube rectifier is really not all that saggy, to be honest.
Okay. Loa Korak. Speaking of the JJ Junior, what is happening in the amp circuit when the JBE switch is toggled? I can't decide what mode I like best.
It's a saturation circuit. Just at the end of the preamp before the EQ, there's a little kind of saturation circuit that we put in. Kind of has its lineage from old Jose amps. But it's a little tweaked. It's not really just verbatim that. Just adds a little more gain, a little more compression.
Okay. More guitars. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you as well. Merry Christmas. Mark and Dave, favorite Zepp, Who, and Floyd album? Mine, Physical Graffiti, Quadrophenia, and Animals.
Oh, boy.
Dave, reach out anytime on my custom twin sister. Well, I will go with... Okay, so my favorite Who album would probably be... I go back between... It would be between Tommy and Who's Next. And I think I would just go with Who's Next. Although Live at Leeds is also fucking awesome. But I'm going with Who's Next.
I'd probably go with Who's Next also.
And then Zeppelin, my favorite album by them, although I love Physical Graffiti. I think I'm going Physical Graffiti on that one.
Can I go all? Just all.
Yeah.
I kind of look at, like, I don't really, I love them all.
Yeah, I love them all too. I really do. But Physical Graffiti is just so good. If I had to pick one album on a desert island, that would be the album.
That's true. It is great. I might agree with that. Okay, I'll agree with that.
And then Floyd, I would also go with Animals. I love Animals.
I don't know. Maybe The Wall. Yeah, maybe The Wall.
I just had to learn. I'm doing with the band. We're doing Young Lust.
Oh, cool.
Which is a good song. I got to learn that solo. Matter of fact, that's what I got to do this weekend. We're playing Wednesday. I got to learn that solo. Yeah, good question. Great bands.
Awesome bands.
Yeah, amazing. OC2 is the original Boss Octave.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I have one sitting in a box next to me here. Actually, I want to see.
I think I had gotten the OC5 because it had the polyphonic kind of feature, but I never use it.
What do we got here? Let's see. And it's an OC2.
Ah, you got the OG.
OG.
Speaking of that, that's the name of Grover's new guitar line.
OG?
OG. It's OG. Like he's like the original.
Okay, cool.
Well, let's see. What else we got here? Mark's volume sounds pretty balanced. All right, good. No special guests tonight. Just us two boneheads.
It's punish me with questions tonight.
And again, my SM7B is, we've got some technical difficulties tonight, Kyle. Sorry about that. That is exactly right, Jason. You're hearing my webcam mic tonight, not a close mic. Sorry.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, I actually had a question on this too. Thanks, John's Guitar. Have you guys heard of BRBS amps? Doug Rappaport has a couple of videos on YouTube with them. I think he's actually playing on tour with one of them, which I've never.
Yeah, I don't. I have no idea. I don't know anything about those amps at all.
Me either. I've never heard anything of them.
I did see that though.
Oh, I was curious, Dave. Do you have an update on with Lyle? Did he ever get anything sorted out with Tim and chassis, and the same with
Oh, I think they're gonna be. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the same with Landry.
I think they're gonna be also.
Oh, good.
I think they've been in contact.
Your immune system must be incredible, Dave. Why is that?
Yeah. Why is that?
I think he does have a good immune system, but but why is that?
Relatively good, other than the 2 times I had COVID.
Oh, I think he means from going to NAMM.
Oh yeah. Well, no, not totally. No, many times I've gotten sick, terribly sick. But I don't know if there's anything you can do to change.
Keyboard typing is loud too. No one's keyboard typing.
I think you were,
I was.
or maybe the clicking of the mouse he's talking about.
Oh, geez, God. I mean,
like, sorry, we're bare bonesing it here.
yeah,
because of technical difficulties. So ignore everything.
Yes, listen, and if not, I don't blame. That's fine. El Scott Music. I love NAMM. I would never have met some of the great artists otherwise. Yeah, that's true. Johnny Hyland, Jen Majura, Phil X, John Suhr, Tony Franklin, Sylvia Massey, and many others. I agree. It was just awesome walking around. And I'm like, oh shit, there's Phil X, and oh wow, there's Paul Gilbert, and
yeah,
just kind of stopping your tracks. You're like, holy crap! I met Michael Anthony there.
Cool.
So yeah, but I doubt it's going to come back. I was tired of being ripped by unscrupulous amp techs, so I'm learning to do it myself. The more I learn, the more I'm in awe of Dumble, Fisher, Freeman, and Dick Denny. First Guitar Circuits.
That's cool. That's a good idea because yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm always pretty fair to people that bring me amps to repair or something. I'm just, it's really just based on the time it takes me. And a lot of times if it's something stupid, it's like, something, a lot of times there's a flat bench fee, but I don't do that. It's like, if it took me 15 minutes, I'll be like, okay, just give me $20, or something like that, because it's not always warranted. I mean, you got to be paid for your time, but I mean, just to kill someone with it, no. Of course, tube amp repairs are much more expensive these days because tubes are much more expensive.
Yeah, and plus people's time is more expensive.
Yeah,
everybody has to get by.
Yeah,
and I totally agree with learning. Why not?
keep doing it. The more you do it, the more you play with it, the more you do it, the more you learn, and you're constantly learning for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I picked up learning how to work on a guitar, because as a lefty, it's so hard to find a tech who really has a clue on how to set up or work on a lefty guitar. So I was just like, I'm just going to learn to do it myself.
Right.
So for the most part, I mean, there are a lot of things I still have no clue on. like fretwork or anything like that. So, Dave, opinion on overload. Geez, I can't even say it. Overloud THU Freeman profiles. You ever hear them?
Yeah, there's some of them that Michael Nielsen has done.
Oh.
That he sells with us. So those ones are really good. I don't know about any others. In fact, I've never even played any of these. But Michael Nielsen has done some with us.
Hyper Bowl Kid, thanks for the question. What is the most aggressive Freeman amp available for modern metal? Reza played a custom 50 that was pretty aggressive. I mean, I'd say
the I mean, the custom 50 was probably one of the aggressive ones. So was the Butter Slacks, although they were different for sure.
Have we had Steve Carr on the show? No.
From Car Amps.
No, have not had him on the show yet.
Makes a nice amp. I don't know him. But I was thinking we also need to have Tim Cochran. Tim pedal.
The Tim pedal, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Didn't I give you his email information?
You may have.
Okay.
It's been a bit nuts. I have everything written down though. Joshua Floyd. Hey Dave, have you ever used a PVJSX head, and are there any mods you can think of off the top of your head that would be cool to look into?
I've repaired one. I don't know if I've never modded one. I guess it's possible, but those heads are a little strange with the EQs that are really like kind of active almost. So
was that James Brown worked on that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that he was. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he did say he worked with Joe on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I want to give a thank you to Gary at Alpha Kinetics, a local amp repair technician. One of the there was something, the connection on the jack on my little sister.
Yeah, he fixed it for us.
And he fixed it for us. Didn't charge us, and I really want to thank him for that, and just being really cool about doing that, fixing it, so I didn't have to ship it back to Dave, because that's a perfect example of where I probably, had I known anything about fixing amps, I probably could have done it myself.
Yeah.
But I didn't. So thanks, Gary, if you're watching or if you hear anything about that. He actually had a really cool pedal. I'm curious your thoughts on this. I don't know the name of the pedal, but I told him I'm going to buy one from him. Okay, so with a compressor pedal, and he would do a much better job of describing this, but with a compressor pedal, like, it just kind of squashes your heavy notes, your hard hitting notes, and and then kind of evens everything out, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's got this pedal where when you hit like chords, or and dig in, it doesn't squish it, but when you go in for lighter note work, it raises the volume and gives you a lift in volume. And I was like, that is fucking cool, because like when you're playing with a band, like it elevated your soloing to this. It gave it like a lift, a dB lift, without doing anything. Like
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was really wild. I forget what he was calling it, but and it wasn't cheap, but it was, but he said the parts in it, and it's a completely unique design, he said. So I said, I'll get one, and I said, I'll give him a shout out on the show about it. So there you go. So once I get one from him,
cool,
I'll let you guys know what it is, because it was very cool. Greg McCourt, front loaded versus rear loaded cabs. I've only ever used rear loaded, so I don't know.
I have to say, also, my entire life only rear loaded. So I have no idea.
Who like what brand makes front loaded?
I think there was a Bogner cab that they front loaded. Maybe the Uber cab was front loaded. I mean, there were other companies over the years that have made it. Off the top of my head, though, I'm not sure. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've never played one.
SB says, Dave, why is my presence pod on my B100 scratchy when adjusting? Because it's an old plexi presence, and that's what I choose to use on the amp, and that's what those original pots did. Because there's a little bit of DC on the pot, and I like it. So actually, the newest BEs though, I've eliminated that because I got tired of people stating well, what's this noise? Even though I put it in the manuals.
I know it's in the manual. So now you took it out?
Yeah, a lot of the newer versions of amps, I've been slowly taking it all out.
Does it affect the tone of the amp?
It doesn't. It's just slightly, but not. I figured out a way I like. So,
gotcha. Claude, thank you for the question. Dave, is an EVH 2x12 with G12H anniversary speakers a good match for a small box, or better off to save twice as much for Pete Thorne's 2x12 with H creambacks?
Well, you know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Get a Freeman cab.
There you go. I mean, is the EVH 2x12 cool? I mean, I haven't heard it in person, so I'm not sure. I think it's probably pretty good. Pete's pretty good, his cab. So, but then again, we have two different Friedman cabs, a vertical one and a horizontal one. It can be ordered with different speakers of your choice if you'd like. So, yeah, I would say get one of ours.
But the EVH speakers and the 2x12 is a good choice too. I mean, it's a good
cab.
If that's what you already own.
Yeah. I don't know if he worded it that way though. So, but
no, right, he didn't. L. Scott Music. Wait, so the BBBE module is pretty much a runt?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, some slight differences in the clean channel, but yeah, pretty much. Some slight difference in the clean channel, yeah, but not the BE channel would be pretty spot on.
Stay curious. Dave and Mark, do you guys know who Graham Coxon is of Blur?
I do. We made him a guitar, a custom painted Metro D.
Oh yeah,
he has of ours. Sure,
he's an exclusive plexi guy.
He'd probably be a good guy to talk to.
That's cool. I'll write it down.
Yeah, he's a Friedman guitar.
Was that a recent thing?
A few years ago. Well, actually, more than a few years ago if you're counting the pandemic. So yeah, I don't know, 5 years ago, something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have Paul Cochran's email here.
Okay.
You write this down, Graham Coxon of Blur. Oh man, as I'm typing this, I went to open a jar the other day. I had this like shooting pain in my thumb. And I've just been nursing my thumb for like the past like 5 days or 4 days. It has been making playing guitar not a lot of fun.
Great.
So, yeah. It's really a bummer. I've been icing it like every day.
Isn't that great? Like as you just get older, you just go try to open a jar and you break something.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm officially really old. Like I can't even open a
It's horrible.
I can't even open a jar of pickles.
Yeah, exactly.
What is going on here? Star-shaped Friedman in the future?
I'll tell you, the funny thing is I've always wanted a star-shaped guitar. Even when I was a kid, I remember eyeing. I don't think I owned it. Did I own one? I remember one time particularly I wanted this. Maybe I did own it, and I'm just forgetting. There was a Kramer Voyager that I wanted when I was a kid, that with the lightning bolt on it. You know the one,
Right? Yeah.
and still I kind of lust for one of those things.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I need it like I need a hole in the head,
They're
but you
comfortable
never
to
know.
play.
Maybe,
They're comfortable to play.
maybe we'll do. I don't think anyone has a patent on the shape.
I don't think so. I mean, Warman
So
sells it.
yeah, so I don't know. Maybe maybe I'll do a run of Friedman guitars star shaped. Maybe do a small run. And I'll do a batch of 10 or something.
That'd be cool.
Maybe we can paint them some wacky colors.
Because I know Rock and Roll Relics does some nice designs. You probably could get that lightning bolt on there.
Well, I think I might get yeah. No, that's a possibility. Although I think I might get another builder to do it.
Oh, I see.
Because there's someone else in the works that does amazing finishes and stuff.
Mm, gotcha.
So there's going to be some nice, cool, wacky. It's funny. Even if I don't like something, there's always someone that likes it. As far as a color goes on a guitar.
Right.
I might not be one for a loud, crazy color, but man, they sell like crazy. You put a purple guitar up and it sells instantly.
Yeah.
And also other loud colors. I mean, obviously you've seen Sir do, hot pink and tiger, and seen him do, some reissues of these neon colors and things that Ibanez used to do, and that's been popular these days. So there you go.
Yep. Yeah. I love my Star guitar that I have. It looks cool. I love it. I almost sold it, but then I decided not to. Smytree, thank you for your super chat, Mark and Dave. Any thoughts on the first few Pantera tribute shows?
Yeah, I have thoughts. I thought it was sounded badass. I'm not really hung up on the fact it's not, it's sanctioned by the widows, so, and it's, has two of the original band members. It's just not, I'm good friends with Rex, and man, I thought they sounded really good. Did it sound exactly like vintage Pantera? Maybe not. It had a little, Zach did a good job, although he has a little bit of Zach in him, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's good. What's what you
It's,
expect?
it's fine. That's what we expect. And I thought it sounded badass.
Yeah, the drumming was
The videos I saw sounded really good to me.
yeah, yeah.
So,
And
and then
Phil,
I
Phil
think
sounds good singing too.
Rex missed one of the shows because he
Yeah,
got
I think he got
sick
COVID.
or something, or maybe COVID or something. I don't know what he got.
That's what I heard. I heard he got COVID. And
Yeah,
he went home to like quarantine. I heard.
yeah. So
By the way, if I have not mentioned, which I don't think I did with all the chaos at the beginning of the show, our sponsors of the show are Sweetwater. Make sure you guys click the link below and check out Sweetwater. If you're going to buy anything for the holidays, please check them out and use our link, and it helps us out and doesn't cost you anything extra. And then also check out fixpedalboards.com, which I know Tim's in the chat. Uh, and I'll get to your super chat very quickly, Tim. But yeah, guys, check out fixpedalboard.com. Got a few more super
sooner or
chats.
later there'll be some new products there.
Yeah. Christian Daniel, hey guys, would you prefer solid state preamp into a tube power amp or a solid state power amp into a tube preamp? That's a good question. Any examples? Thanks, guys.
Um. Well, okay. Not all solid state power amps are made equally. Class D generally just is awful. So that's a no. So I'd probably do a tube power amp with a solid state front end more so than the other way around.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I have both. I mean, I have a tube preamp and tube power amp. So
Yeah. Although, like I said, there is some great old solid state power amps that are great, like H&H. The old One Space Lee Jackson power amps, they were fantastic. Still love how that sounds. And a few others too out there that sounded really good.
Moss valve,
Boss Valve, yeah, that sounded good too.
not bad.
Maybe a little bass shy.
Yeah,
those.
I agree with that. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Definitely. Have you ever worked with Mike McCready or Stone Gossard of Pearl Jam? What do you think of their tones over the years? I love those guys.
I think they've done great over the years. I think the tones. I was not early on. I wasn't a fan, but that was just when times were changing. But I became a fan. I haven't worked with them. No, I haven't. I wish.
Yeah, I mean, I loved. I mean, I haven't gotten any of their more recent albums, but I mean, up until like Vitology,
No, Vitology was a great record.
yeah, fantastic. I mean, Versus is a great album. The first one, yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of theirs. Let's see. I'm not sure what amps they play too. I've seen them.
All sorts of things.
I was going to say I've seen Stone Gossard use all types of amps. Mike plays. Dave, I've owned the Phil X amp for 3 years and still totally love it. Can you please explain the differences with the voltage settings, V plus and V minus? Are the two settings biased differently too?
No, all that switch is doing is it varies the amount of voltage from the phase inverter through the preamp. So it's really just changing the preamp voltages and the phase inverter voltages. Nothing to do with the power tubes at all. So it's just higher voltages or more normal. The V minus was more like kind of normal, what you would normally see. V plus was just I think 20 volts higher or something. Maybe more than 20 volts higher, something like that.
Okay.
Just a little, the V plus is a little bolder, a little brighter, a little bolder. The other has a little more compression and a little more give. Yeah. So no, and they're not biased differently because they don't have to be, because the power tubes are exactly the same.
My tube can't hang live. Hope you're healthy, safe, and have lovely holidays. You too, man. If you happen to watch this in the replay. Randy Price, Dave, I know the answer to this. You have. Have you ever done any work for Metallica?
Yes. James Hetfield's Jose. And that's the only thing I've done.
Yep.
For them over the years.
That's pretty cool still.
And I think he blew it up again, so I think I might work on it again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know what the status is of that.
Justin Long, Dave and Mark, don't you love that 80s tone via Steve Lukather and Dan Huff? It depends. It started to get a bit processed for me at some point.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, but yeah, some of that stuff was great. Sure.
Yeah, I particularly I liked the clean tones. A lot of the clean tones, especially Dan Huff, clean stuff sounded really good. But yeah, I mean, I love the tones, but when it started to get really, really saturated and processed and chorusy and everything, I was maybe not so much. Like when Steve made fun of himself with the Starlix video.
Yeah.
That Starlix video is funny because he does have like almost everything on in that rack.
Absolutely.
Whose next album is the album that was done using the 3x10 Bandmaster, right?
I think that's correct.
Wow. Yeah, all the Zepp. Love Isle of Wight. Zepp 2. Yeah, Zepp 2 is. I'm going through the old questions here.
I love all the Zeppelin, so I'm really stuck with that.
Yeah. I mean, even if you talk about like Coda,
yeah, even the outtakes were cool.
Yeah, Coda's great. In Through the Outdoor.
That's magical.
Yeah, great stuff. I mean,
it's all great.
Yep. Sessions with Jeff. Thanks. Hey guys, one of my EL84s has given up my PB Classic, old USA versions. Suggestions for what might be able to get my hands on in the current market. We'll need to ship to, is that Great Britain?
You can probably get your hands on just about anything now. For that amp, I think they probably Sovtek EL84s maybe. If you can get your hands on it.
You can still get JJs too, right?
You can get JJs, but actually, I mean, in that particular amp, I think the Sovtex might sound cooler. That might have been what they came with for a while, but maybe they had USA tubes in it originally. I don't remember. But choices you have essentially are various Sovtek ones. You have JJs, or you have the new PS Fane ones. I mean, they sound great. The PS Fane EL84 Classic series.
What's your favorite high watt amp?
DR103 or DR504. I like both. My PA head that's converted to a DR103 that Stevie Fryette put his favorite DR103 circuit in.
What's the, I mean, if you could describe the two different amps, like what's the difference?
Between the 504 and the 103? 103 is louder, more bold, a little cleaner, and the 504 is a little grittier, a little scratchier. I mean, the 103 is amazing if you can get some volume to it. You know, you gotta play those. Even if you put those into, say, a Fryette power station or something, you still need to get the power station going a little bit and some decent volume to get the essence of it.
Because they're real percussive, right?
Yeah. And you need that's the whole thing about it.
Right. So if it's not loud, to some degree, you're not getting the feel.
Yeah.
Opinion on angle amps.
There are a lot of good angle amps. I used to like that. Well, it was originally the Ritchie Blackmore amp, and then it was, I think they changed the name to Session Amp or Artist Amp or something. I don't remember, and that's cool. And some of the other angles are awesome too, like the what's the other main one? The pretty heavy sounding generally. The other main one is I can't think of the name.
Gavin T, in a studio, to have the head in the control room and a 50 foot to 100 foot wire, what gauge wire?
I would say the biggest you can get. So that's speaker wire. So 12 gauge or 10 gauge. If you're going to go 100 feet, try to get 10 gauge. 50 feet, you could probably do 12 gauge.
Mark, I need a compressor for my keyboard. It's not my keyboard. It's this stupid mouse, which has a roller.
And a click.
Yeah. So you hear that. I'm sorry.
Or you use the Magic Mouse.
Yeah. I don't know. I got this thing a while ago. And let's see. Oh, there's Richard. Oh my God, watching live. Richard's the one who got the head first amp.
He has many of mine too.
Oh, cool. Okay, Dave, what tube should I put in my Egnator Vengeance head?
I don't even know what tubes come in them, so I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'm a loss to tell you what's wrong. Is there something wrong with what you got in it? I tell you, if it's preamp tubes that are in it, I mean, you might want to leave them because there's not a lot of great choices in preamp tubes at the moment.
Dan, what's up, man? I met Mark and Dave at NAMM. Yep, I remember meeting you. Great to meet you. Great question, John. Thank you. Thoughts on the new H90? Loving mine. I have mine. It's very cool. the way I'm using it right now, I probably could have bought the Eventide micro pitch pedal and been just as happy. um, but I don't use all the features on the H90, but I do like the fact that I can put a delay or something with the mic. They actually have a balance error patch, which is great. Which
Cool.
which sounds great. I mean, it's a little too processed. I kind of backed off some of it, but it sounds great. So yeah, I think the H90. It's expensive though. I didn't realize when I ordered it how expensive it was. I mean,
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
yeah, I mean it's like almost $900.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
So
I really haven't used one yet. Although we did just put one on Pete Thorne's board, but I just saw it worked. Didn't really mess with it. I don't know. You know what? To be honest, these days it's like if there's too much programming involved, I'm out. I just want knobs. Just like I can't. I don't know. Maybe I just lost patience for it. You know, I think a lot of new things have made the editing so complicated that it's even hard for people that do know what they're doing. So just a thought. Now, I'm not necessarily directing that at the Eventide because I haven't played with it, so I don't really know. The last one was the pain in the ass, though. So the H9, your phone editor you had to use.
yeah, this one you don't have to worry about that. You can edit everything on the H90. You don't have to worry about the phone at all.
Yeah.
Doug Thacker would love another Jake and Tone Talk Vegas interview. Been a fan since Grover #1. Love you guys. You too, man.
Might happen. Might happen. Well, no. I mean, he wants to do something, but I don't know when and what he wanted to do was with someone else, and we haven't got a commitment on that one yet. So we'll see. But if not, I'm going to drive to Vegas and make him do it.
There you go.
So
he'll do it.
G-Man Music says, Dave, could you do another 2 Notes cab pack? Give it a minute. I might do more coming up, but let's let that one breathe a little bit. And yes, it would be some alternate things.
Tim, dude, with the big super chat, thank you. I made an all boss board just for fun a few years ago. The hiss was within a dB of the 80 amp swamp coolers in the shop. Builder incompetence, or are they that noisy? Speaking of noisy, scratchy presence knob is the sound of champions.
I mean, the pedals, some of them were noisy. It depends on what pedals you put on the board, Tim. Like for instance, like an old the old Boss Vibrato was extremely noisy, especially if you're using it in momentary mode, which a lot of people do. A few of them shouldn't be that bad. Depends on how many you stacked up. You know.
Why would they be noisy? Are they true bypass?
No, they aren't true bypass.
So
no, they're buffered, just buffered, lots of buffers, lots of circuits, just all stacking up together.
Gotcha.
They do always work though. And they almost never break.
True. Yeah. I mean, you can
hammer a nail in with it and then use it for the gig.
Yep. The Freeman Starfish.
Don't tempt me.
Let's see.
Hey, Modern Vintage Tone Talk Dave, any updates on ETA in the vintage line Marshall? Okay. Well, I have some chassis and I'm waiting on some power transformers. So I have the board I'm going to use and I have chassis and I just need the power transformers and then I'm going to prototype it and then we have to do the cosmetics, and then we have to put it into a production. So it's going to be a minute yet. And that's a 50 watt I'm making too. So 100 watt EVH spec amp. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. I could. We'll see.
Well, I mean,
There's lots of stuff under the vintage line that I might wind up doing. Like there might be 100 watt Jose amp with Richard Fortis. There might be some other amps in limited runs, maybe on some things. So we'll see.
Awesome. Zach Baines, was Dave a fan of Boston's first album? And how could you get that lead guitar tone with a Freeman amp?
Okay, well, I'm not the biggest Boston fan in the world. I mean, it was cool, but I always felt it was overly processed and weird on the guitar sounds. But so, how do you go about getting that sound? Maybe get some of the Rockman choruses and delays going on with it.
That's what I would say. You want to get some chorus, definitely chorus. Yeah. Let's see. Actually, you would want to use also the Halo has a delay setting that sounds like Tom Schultz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I have to sit up straight here. Ugh, I feel like I'm leaning over. Dave, Eric Bernstein, thanks. Dave, had my JTM 45 clone in the studio, ran the speaker in the other room, cranked good, and hitting it with a wah and boost. The amp itself was ringing like it was a speaker. That's a bad sign. Transformer ringing, normal.
That's totally normal. Your output transformer makes those sounds. It's like people also ask me that same question when they're using it into a load. You hear the cranking amp through the output transformer. It's like vibrating. Totally normal. And it's not a problem.
Cool. Never knew that.
Yeah. Run one of your amps into a load and crank it. You'll hear it out of the amp without your speakers on. You'll hear it.
Zeke says I missed his super chat. So let me look. I don't see a super chat from Zeke.
I'm looking.
Oh, here it is. So Dave, again, if you were on a desert island and could only have one of your Freeman line amps, which one would it be?
Maybe the small box. Maybe the small box. I love that amp.
Okay. I really love the Little Sister.
That's great amp.
Yeah, it really is. It's so throaty. Let's see. Okay. All right. So I picked that up. Robert Price. Well, the Mike No Mo, like Mike No More, solved my issues with bad sound guys messing up my live guitar tone.
Theoretically, yes. You'll always be giving them the exact same sound if that's the sound you want. Yeah, for sure. As long as they don't fuck that up.
Did you guys get a chance to check out PRS amps? I checked out the videos on the Hendrix amp. Can't say I was overly impressed.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never actually played a single one in person, nor have I ever seen one in person. So, no rigs, no people, no one's ever brought me one.
Yeah, I saw a video of Rhett Shull using one, and I was like,
yeah.
I've heard plexis that sound better.
I mean, the Marshall Plexi is awesome. The little 20-watt guy
Mhm.
can be made ever so slightly even better. So
Oh God, Dave, your star-shaped guitar model can only have one name: the porn star.
I don't know. The starfish might take the cake for me.
It does kind of go with the brown eye.
I don't know. You guys might want me to make some star-shaped guitars on a limited, like a little limited run. Potentially could.
I think it's super cool.
I think it would make me happy. That's for sure.
Yeah, I love the way I think they're very comfortable to play.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Best bedroom tube amp for brutal metal.
Uh,
Bedroom tube amp.
Everyone's idea what brutal metal sound is the different than someone else's. That's a tough one. You know, I've heard people do a good job with their JJ Junior amp doing metal kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Might not be brutal enough. Who knows? I'm not sure. Um, there's a lot to that. Are you using a tuned down guitar? Are you not using a tuned down guitar? Are you using what sort of metal? How brutal? What, you know, there's a lot to that. A lot can be solved with a graphic EQ in the loop, too. You can kind of tweak it any which way.
Santa Cruz 3600. Dave, Mark, do you guys remember Fender's London Reverb or Randall's RG80 solid state amps? I had them in the 80s. So glad tube amps didn't go away.
Yeah, the RG80 was kind of cool. I don't remember much of the London Reverb. I think I ignored that one.
No, I've not played with either one of them.
Someone else was asking about the Vox amp that I'm going to do also, and again, I have chassis and I have transformers, and I'm about to build a proto of it. So hang on, we'll get there. It's not like I don't have anything else to do.
What's my favorite amp other than the Freeman? Thanks, guys. Well, I would go.
I have a vintage. Well, okay. Well, everything behind me. So I have a vintage 50-watt Plexi that is my favorite. I have a Jose that's a favorite. I have a high watt that I love. I have a brown Bandmaster that I love. So I love all those.
I really love the Soldano.
Yeah, that's a great one.
And the UVH stealth head that I have behind me is fantastic. But there's other amps that I love too. So let's see. Tree, thank you. Symmetry. Yea, loving the Pantera Rex above all deserves more than any of them. Did you catch the Gibson Icons Rex interview? Second best ever. Yeah, I actually did not get to finish it, but that was a really good interview. From what
I didn't
saw.
watch it all, but I watched some of it. That was great.
Yeah, I watched like 2/3 of it.
Rex is so cool, man. Rex is a cool dude. I love Rex. He's
so
awesome.
laid back.
Yeah. Just the way that southern drawl to everything, and love
I
it.
felt so badly because I know he was so stoked that that guy had Dime's original amp,
Oh yeah.
and that I hate to say teased. He did. He teased Rex, with the idea of selling it to him and and getting it to him, and then that never happened.
That's too bad.
Yeah, the guy just decided to keep it, which kind of pissed me off. I was like, then why say that?
Why even come on the show, or why even
Why bring it up? I mean, the guy he was really, really excited to get the amp back to, the family, and
yeah.
that kind of bummed me out. And I was just like, yeah, fuck. So anyway, but yeah, Rex is super cool. And super cool for coming on our show. So Leonard, what's going on? Thank you. Dave, I love my Run 20. I'm looking for a nice verb or delay to run in the loop. I play almost all styles. Also, will you expanding the Runt line?
I don't think we're expanding the rent line currently. Will there be other amps in the future that are around the 20-30 watt range? Maybe, but nothing real soon. The delay. I mean, I'm a big fan of the DD500 delay from Boss. If not that, I like the Halo from Keeley. That's a great delay. Simpler, smaller. And for reverb, I mean, my the stuff from oh, what's the company? They make the Ice Verb and the black boxes. They make a few different reverbs. The Wet, not Ice, Wet. The Wet. Shoot, I can find out.
Sorry, I can't help you.
The New Neighbor.
Oh,
New Neighbor makes some great reverbs. They're great. And then my used favorite was the old Polara, Digitech Polara, with the plate setting in that. That sounded great.
Get the new PS Vane. They are amazing.
On the EL84s you're talking about? If that's probably what we're talking about. They are great, or I'm not sure what he was talking to reference to.
Yeah, the Angle Fireball. That actually
Fireball, that's it. That's what I was looking for earlier. That was a cool amp.
Yeah. That would be a good for metal also.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would be a good one for metal.
Yeah. That amp actually caught my eye.
Yeah, that's a cool amp. Those guys from Angle are awesome dudes too. Actually, we should have them on.
Oh yeah, do they speak English?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good.
With an accent, but yes.
Oh, that's good. It's fine.
They're super cool. Maybe we can get them drinking on the show, and that'll be really fun. They're good drinkers.
Oh, this is a good question.
In fact, I mentioned it to them, I think, when I saw them. They visited my shop recently, and I mentioned it to them. They were interested in it. So, yes, I have to reach out to them.
Okay. Have you seen the new Third Man pedal? Have you seen that?
The double, whatever it is. Yeah, it's two microamps in a box, one per amplifier output.
Right.
Can be kind of cool, very specific, but it's cool. But all the pedals that he does with various companies are always so cool. I think I love that broken kind of fuzz kind of things and stuff he does.
I think it's a great idea to have two separate gains for the separate amps, so you can really dial in two different tones. I mean, you could do that separately anyway if you really want.
Yeah, it makes sense for how he does things. It works, and it's I don't know if it applies to everyone, but it's cool.
Yeah, that's definitely. Someone was bashing it. They're like, "Oh, it doesn't have a ground lift," and then someone wrote, "Yes, it does," or it has something to avoid some noise.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Miller, thank you. What was the best PV combo amp of all time? I'd probably say the Classic 30.
Huh. Classic 30 is cool. Classic 50 was pretty cool too. Classic 30 is good, especially if you replace the speaker with a Celestion. Yeah, but the Classic series, maybe something out of the Classic series. Unless there's something older that I'm not remembering. There was. Yeah.
Dave, can you talk about how Akira Takasaki started using your amps? From Charlie Wilkins. Thanks, Charlie.
How did he start using them? Our Japanese distributor was friends with the organization or him. and I think he got to try one and then loved it and then wound up getting two. And he's been using them ever since. And this was years ago now. I know he has a black one and a black snakeskin one, I think. There's a earlier incarnation of the BE.
Was that around the time that he did the video for you?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, he started using it before that, but yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I don't know how many years ago now. I have to look at the video.
I think its video's at least 10 years
Man,
ago.
I got to tell you, that was the coolest video shoot ever.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because, man, it was just like when we were, shooting it, it's like, he just started playing and your jaw just hit the floor. It was just, he was just tearing it up. And he was just warming up, and he was just tearing it up. And then we proceeded, when we filmed that video, we asked him to play those specific songs that he played in the video. And it's cool, it was just cool.
Yeah.
Just to watch, we were almost calling him out,
Was he playing really loud?
Yes, the amp was loud, but the cabinet was mic'd in another. So it was an interesting way we did it. So we had a cabinet in another room, and it was mic'd up, and it was loud, but it's pretty far away. Like you could hear it, but pretty far away. So what we did was we took the other BE 100 that was sitting there. We took, I think, the send of the effects loop or the line out, I can't remember which, and fed it into a little reverb pedal, and then fed that into the power section return of the second BE 100 with the 4x12 right behind him in the video. But that was set low in volume, just a little bit of volume, just so he could hear it without like the time delay that he was getting from the cabinet far away. And it worked out really well.
Wow, that's cool.
So the other one was just like a little monitor.
Right.
It wasn't being mic'd or anything. It was just for his hearing.
Oh,
yeah.
Good question. Andrew Paul, sorry to put you on the bad spot, Dave, but if you had to use a modeler, Helix, Kemper, etc., what would it be?
Oh, it probably would be the Quad Cortex.
And because you've used one or you've heard one?
Yeah, but you can model your own amp and have it be sound, capture your own amp and have it sound great. I mean, you can do that on Kemper too, but I don't think it sounds quite as good.
Kemper's a bit dated.
Yeah. Although Helix, the placator in the Helix is pretty good. It's not bad.
I've got a Kemper and I love it, but I wouldn't use it live.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't.
It's just sad.
And it just doesn't translate well with a band. I just felt it just didn't sit well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. It just didn't. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It just didn't sit the way a real amp sits. In the
Generally speaking, when you see a band that is all direct versus a band that uses live amps, and they're back to back on the same bill, there's a huge difference. Mm-hmm. Just a huge difference.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Hey, Dave, do you ever sleep?
Every night for like 8 hours. But I only take one day off a week, so. And I almost never take a vacation. So.
Patrick Miller, have you guys heard anything about Rivera's relatively new Stage 4 amp? It's supposedly be his production model of the modified Fenders he made for the studio players in the 70s and 80s.
I don't know anything about that.
Love to get him on the show.
I can make that happen.
Yeah, remember I told you to reach out to his son.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What's the future for Freeman guitars? I think we talked about that.
We will make more.
Are you still modding Marshall Origins?
I can, yeah.
Maybe
I
wait till
can, but I mean, right now I'm so totally backed up, so I can't take in any work.
you guys hear me clicking, scrolling through.
Sure do. It's like someone's chomping at the keyboard.
What a great show. Tobias Ryan, hey Dave and Mark. Dave, wondering if you had an amp you made that surprised you with its success and an amp you surprised that didn't do better.
I'm trying to think what surprised me with the success. What still amazes me how many 100-watt amps we sell. I mean, most manufacturers don't sell any 100-watt amps, and we sell a ton of 100-watt amps. I sell a ton of B100 Deluxes constantly. They're always back ordered. There never seems to not be 100 on order. It you know, just like when you never fill it down very far, it just comes back again. It's always like fluctuating between 60 to 100 on order.
Wow.
All the time. And as far as a disappointing one, the Buxom Betty was a disappointing one. That thing sounds amazing. I mean, but it was a very loud, clean amp, and it cost a fair amount of money. And I think I just think people don't really necessarily want to pay for a clean amp that costs a lot of money. But man, did it sound good, especially with pedals and stuff. Holy crap. It's great.
Are you still making it?
I mean, technically we still can. We haven't.
Gotcha. Have we ever had Gene Baker on the show? No.
No. I've met him before several times over the years.
Where's he from?
Baker Guitars. Gene Baker. He used to be involved with Gibson years ago too, I think. I don't know the whole backstory. I kind of forget off the top of my head.
Fried Amps. Happy birthday, Dave. Yeah, happy belated birthday to you.
Thank you. Fried Amps. Now, who would this be? Would this be Stevie? Would this be Joe?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if it's Joe or Steve. But hey to you both. Hope you're doing good.
Probably Joe.
The Laney Ironheart 15. I haven't played one, so I don't know.
I haven't played one either. I know of it. You know, most of the stuff that Laney's done over the years has been really good, to be honest. I mean, like, the VH4 amp was really good. The can't remember all the other ones, but I mean, generally they do a pretty good job. They're kind of like under the radar bunch, you know.
Well, now that Fryet's here, let's talk about the Fryet Pitbull 100. What's your opinion? I've never played one actually.
I've seen variations of Pitbulls since, I don't know, going back. I've known Stevie since, I don't know, 35 years. So I was there when he started everything, and Pitbull's cool. It definitely has some little high watt flavor in there, a little of some other things. A pretty cool sounding amp. The Deliverance amp, the newer Deliverance amps are amazing. I think they sound really good. Super cool amp. And of course, his Sound City line that he does, very high watt.
Yeah,
like sound amazing.
I've been lusting after a Sound City amp actually. Let's see. Jerry C. Hey guys, thank you for another year of awesome shows. Oh, thank you. As I mentioned, I don't play, but I love the show and I'm a music lover. That's so cool. Just wonder if you guys still listen to and dig vinyl records. Merry Christmas. Same to you. I since we redid our family room area, I got rid of the record player.
I have one.
So I haven't.
I have an old receiver in that, but I got to fix one of my speakers now, and this receiver needs a little help too. But yeah, I love hearing stuff on vinyl like that.
I was listening to them. but I unfortunately just don't have the room. So I'll have to.
I sometimes wonder if I should bring it all to the shop. I might listen to it more.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'd love to have it in here, but I have no room for a record player or any. I don't know where I'd put it. So, is there
Here's
any?
someone asked, Modern Vintage asked a question. He asked, can a B Deluxe be modded to SSV2 specs?
I'll be right back.
Channels 1 to 3. Well, I mean, I can change the Plexi channel if you want to the SS clean channel. I can, with a few parts, change the BES or SS channel to the SS channel. And with all the, you could, some slight changes. Sure. I could. Can't for a long time. And
Okay, I'm back.
All right.
Let's see what we got here. Here we go. Charlie Wilkins. How did Akira Takasaka from Loudness start you? Oh, we already talked about that.
We already did that.
Thanks for the super chat,
though. That's the one you brought up before.
Yeah, you brought that up, but you didn't ask it in the super chat. So thanks for the contribution. Appreciate it.
No, you put the super chat on the screen before.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you paid twice?
Mark's smoking.
Did I put this up already?
Yeah.
I thought there was a different question.
No, that was the one.
All right. Maybe I'm wrong.
He's losing his mind.
Well, I promise I didn't just smoke.
Or maybe you should.
I know. It's been a long week, man. It's been a really, really crazy end of the year. Let's see. Do you guys think this is the golden age of guitar amps? The golden age was obviously the 50s and the 60s.
Well, if you're, I mean, you could look at it that way, Mark, but you could also look at it as in features and things. But I think that started happening in the the late 80s, and one could say that maybe there was more boutique amps then than there is now. Because I could think of a bunch that existed, from the late 80s to early 90s era that don't exist anymore, So, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, I think we're
I think actually we're losing some of them, but more can be done now. So I don't know. That's a hard question to answer.
It's a great time to be a guitar player, though, because I mean, the technology that allows you to play in your bedroom.
Yeah.
Amazing amps. You can play a 100-watt amp in your bedroom using a Fry-Up power station or using a Captor X or something like that, and record silently and all those things. Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing time to be a guitar player.
And someone asked, and following suit with that, someone asked, is the Fry-Up Power Station 100 still the most recommended load box attenuator for Friedmans and Soldanos? Now, I don't necessarily think for Friedmans and Soldanos. I think a power station is a great thing for a vintage amp that doesn't have a master volume, that you can crank up the amp to whatever point you want and attenuate it down, and you add a loop. I think it's a little redundant on a Friedman or Soldano. I mean, if you just need those amps to be a slight bit quieter, you could get another attenuator like a Rivera Rock Crusher or something and just knock it down a couple notches. I don't think you necessarily need the whole power station, because on their Friedman amp or your Soldano, you're not going to. There's a point. Yes, you could turn the master up more, but really, turning the master up more doesn't do anything till it's at around 6. And then you're starting to introduce power amp distortion. And then there's so much front end distortion, you don't need much power amp distortion. So it's kind of, I don't think you need it with those amps.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But if you're going to use the power station as a load,
that's a whole different thing, you know.
And yeah, it's fantastic for that.
Great. It's a great product.
Yeah. Pete Thorne. Nerds, all of you. Yes, nerds.
Look who's talking.
What's up, Pete? Happy holidays to you and your loved ones. Can you guys hear me scrolling?
Sure can.
Buxom Betty is the best amp for big bands when you need to sit with horns and keys.
Yeah, it works well.
I have not tried one.
Cuts right through.
You ever tried Benson amps and maybe thought about Chris Benson on the show?
I know of them. I've never actually tried them, so I don't even know what they sound like. But yeah, he's more than welcome to come on the show.
And their preamps look pretty cool too. I've seen them.
See, I got an official here. Sheldon Swan says Sheldon Swan says yes. Do a Freeman Star.
There you go. Thanks for the question.
Okay, I want to do it.
Betty and the Twin Sisters. Jerry Cantrell is always on tour, but any updates on having him on the show? I reached out to the manager. I haven't heard.
And
back.
I did more with the manager, and then I had to reiterate what it was all about again, and then.
Well, really?
Yeah, and then he was going to talk to Jerry, but when he was going to talk to Jerry, he was sick or something. So, I'll reach back out again.
Maybe for our 10-year anniversary.
I'll make it happen sooner or later. Well, Jerry said yes, but then it's just a matter of finagling him, you know, the time for him to do it. I'll work it out.
Okay. What would be the difference between buying a multi-channel amp with the Buxom Betty as the clean channel and buying the actual Buxom Betty amp?
Well, everything for the Buxom Betty amp was like the power section, everything was voiced a certain way for that amp, and it has the spring reverb that's in that amp where you don't get that with something else. So it's different for sure. Similar, you know, if you're running it really clean, but you know, if you're cranking it up
a little bit. Buxom Betty channel on my BE 100.
Do you? Okay.
Well, that's what you told me.
Then maybe I did that. I don't remember.
It was right before you came out with the BE 50 Deluxe, and you, I think
I changed your channel to the.
Yeah, that's what. Well, when you made the amp, you said you gave me a Buxom Betty clean.
Okay. I don't remember.
The Plexi channel.
I don't remember.
It's very clean.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, people want Uncle Doug back on the show. Yeah, he's touring right now, I think.
Yeah.
Dave, have you spoken to Jake lately?
Yeah, I saw him in Vegas at Thanksgiving. We had dinner and we went to see the Iron Maidens.
Oh, cool.
And hung out with Courtney, who also I have to get on the show.
She declined us. Remember you asked?
I asked. She didn't decline.
Oh, I thought she said no.
No.
Okay, my bad.
No.
Are you a fan of the UA aux?
I mean, yeah, it's good. It's fine. I think I might like some other things better, like other load boxes better with some static IRs.
I like the Captor X better, personally. I sold my UA aux. But it's a cool product. It really is. Just for me personally,
Yeah.
when I walked out, people were like, bong hit? No, come on, grow up. Let's see. Modern Vintage. Mark and Dave, thank you for all you do. It's very much appreciated. I hope you and yours a great Christmas and New Year. Happy holidays to all.
Thank you.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Thanks to you and thanks to everybody. Really, it's tough to do these shows and work and have a family and everything like that, but we really do enjoy it. So thanks for watching. And happy holidays to you guys. Producer man 130 whatever. Dave, love your small box clean sound. I usually use Fender style stuff, but that clean sound stayed with me.
Great, man. And L. Scott Music said, what's the crown jewel of Dave's amp collection? Well, that would be my 50-watt Plexi.
Did you ever sell your Soldano?
I did.
Oh, so that's gone.
For a lot of money.
Good. You should have. Dave, did you influence Mike to improve the functionality of the new SLO 100?
I didn't really have anything to do with the design at all. I mean, I heard things as it went along, but I didn't have anything to do with it.
You're welcome, Pete. I'm still trying to figure out why my JJ Jr. is called JJ when his initials are JC. It's the name of a ranch, the Double J. It's the name of his dad's ranch.
In Texas, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why it's called the JJ.
It's supposed to be called the Double J, technically.
Double J, right.
But everyone just started calling it the JJ, so I don't know. Or it's the chant, Jerry, Jerry.
Right.
Calviopus. Need to get some backup KT88s for a Fryette deliverance. Opinions on PS Vane, or would it be better to go with the Russian EH, etc.? Honestly, I would ask Fryette and see what his opinion is. I don't know if I have an opinion. I haven't tried the PS Vane KT88 yet. I hear they're pretty good though, and I think Fryette said they're pretty good.
Yeah, Double J does sound cooler than JJ.
Yeah.
It feels like Mike Soldano was inspired after the Tone Talk episodes to improve his SLO amp. You know, it's funny you say that. I hate to toot our own horn, but I actually think that's true. I think that when he came on the show the first time, when we talked about some of those things, and we talked about the DC heaters, and we talked about some of the other things, he was like, yeah, I really should improve that, and I really should do that. And that was way before he was thinking about selling the amp line, But he talked about it. He's like, I've really given it a lot of thought to doing these things, and then the next time we talked, he was like, yeah, we're updating this and we're updating that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure he'd thought about all of those things before, and he'd heard about it. But I like to think that we had some influence. I skipped your super chat. Enrico, man, this is just one of those nights. Let me see what your super chat, Enrico, was, and I'll get it. Oh, I see it. Okay, no problem. Looking for less compression on a small box 50 channel 2. Channel 1 is perfect. Should I try a less gainy 12AX7 or a 12AU7 in the last gain stage, or should I?
No, you can't do that because then you change both channels. I mean, it's really just, I guess, about the amount of gain in the first tube stage that's hitting the second tube stage. And the only way you can change that is by changing a resistor in the amp. So it has to be modified.
Sorry about that, Enrico.
Yeah.
Sorry I missed it. Let's see. Lyle from Psionic was a great guest. Please have him on again. Yeah, we'll have Lyle on again. He helped me offline. We were chatting about lights. I picked up some lights for maybe next year. I'll have better lighting where I don't look so translucent.
Mark looks like a jellyfish.
Yeah. See my veins. Who makes a good tremolo pedal? Who just came out with a tremolo pedal that was really good? Was it Boss? No. It's called the.
I'm thinking about this, and I can't off the top of my head. What's the tremolo? Well, actually the Strymon one is good with the one with the reverb built in. Flint. That has a great trem in it. To be honest, there's older pedals that exist that are cool. The trem Duncan did or still does makes a trem that sounds great. There's the original Boss trems were great. Not the second version, the original super whatever it was called. Kind of depends on which sort of trem style you want to do. Do you want choppy? Do you want mellow and warm? Because there's still the original Demeter Tremulator, which was a cool tremolo for more of a tube ampy kind of tremolo. There was the Super Trem from Full Tone that was cool.
Boss just came out with the Slicer. That's what it's called.
Yeah, the Slicer is a different thing. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, it's very choppy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mark, try some roll-on lidocaine for your thumb. Helps the pain and inflammation. Will do. I will try it. Yeah. Hey Dave, Mark, Merry Christmas. What's your guys' top 5 guitar players?
Oh God.
Well, Eddie Van Halen's at the top of the list.
Sure.
I would put Luke up there. I would put Gilmore.
Can we go by era?
Yeah, true.
There was so many, like in older era, I would, let's say before 1980. Well, I guess Van Halen is before 1980. Let's say before 1975. You had like Jimmy Page, Pete Townsend, David Gilmour. Well, I guess you had Eric Clapton, but I was never a huge fan. Jimi Hendrix, of course. And many others. And then after 75, Eddie Van Halen, obviously. And then you're probably getting into the rest of the 80s. So Warren DeMartini, Eddie Van Halen, George Lynch, Jakey Lee, Randy Rhoads.
Yeah.
Those would be like kind of top in the 80s if you had to pick 5. There's others too. John Sykes, amazing.
Yeah, Sykes.
This is a hard thing, your top 5. Akira Takasaki was amazing. It's impossible. It's impossible to make this choice. Top 5 for me overall, maybe Eddie Van Halen for sure. I'm a big Jimmy Page fan, so I'm going to say Jimmy Page. I probably would also say Pete Townsend, but more for his rhythm playing. Um. Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Ty Tabor too is an amazing guitar player.
Mm.
I can't do this. Too hard.
I'll tell you some of my favorite modern guitar players. Pete Thorne up there,
Ooh.
not because he's in the chat, but he's just phenomenal, great guitar player. Let's see. Oh, you know who's I'd say more modern? Dean DeLeo.
No, not really modern, but
Well, I mean, you know, in the 90s. Geez. I mean, there's other guys that are new that are really good too, but I really especially love Pete's first album. Really, really good album. Great music to listen to, especially working out. I don't know if I ever told you that, Pete, but if you're listening, great album to work out to. Let's see.
yeah. Fixed Pedalboard said both Jeff and Phil of Armored Saint use Helixes on the Wasp tour. Jeff's model was a B100 Deluxe. Sounded cool. Yeah, that's just so sad though. It just that I saw Armored Saint and Wasp and Metallica in 1980 something at a theater. As old Marshalls and big, real cabinets. Yeah, I just can't get. I don't know. I just can't get. It's not a rock and roll show without a real amp. Sorry.
Yeah. C. Ray Vaughan, definitely. He's up there also. No doubt about it. Danish Pete, he's a great player.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, fantastic. Another guy, Rabea, is great.
Oh yeah.
Joe Perry is great, but he's not in the top 10 for me either. Oh yeah, more modern. Yeah, Paul Gilbert's up there. Guthrie Govan, for sure.
Here's an interesting one. So Nathaniel,
Uncle Larry. That's what I meant. Yeah, Uncle. Yeah. Tom Bukovac. Sorry.
No, Nathaniel Pershon, I think. Sorry if I butchered that. Dave, you ever consider cutting cost and doing rack versions of your amps? How does it cut cost? It doesn't really cut cost. Not really. Maybe a smidge. Because you're not paying for the Tolex head shell, but there's still extra metal work. So, you're not saving a ton of money by doing that. Maybe you're going to save $100. I don't know. $200, maybe. I don't know. But not really.
Okay. Chuck Berry. You ever hear my Chuck Berry story? I I get a phone call one night. My cousin says to me, my husband and I are sick, and we've got tickets to go see Chuck Berry tonight. It's like at 7 o'clock at this point.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Do you want to go? You can pick up our tickets at our house. I'll leave them out front." So I'm like, "Sure." So my wife and I, we get dressed really quick. We rush to their house, get the tickets, rush to the place to go see Chuck Berry. We got in there, and the concert had already started. And we get in, and literally as we got to our seats, they're playing the last song, and they go, "Good night." And we sat just as we sat down. So I got to see Chuck Berry just basically say goodnight.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But yeah, let's see. Someone else had a question here. Right. Oh, here we go.
Dave, here's someone. Stay Curious said, Dave, didn't you say a few months ago that Metallica were using new Freeman amps on their album? Yeah, they used some Freeman amps on their new album. I do know that. So, or at least Kirk did.
I'm curious why Dave decided on creambacks in a lot of his combos and cabs. What made you decide on those rather than V30s? I think probably because they could handle more power.
No, V30 is the same power handling, but
Oh,
V30 and some of the open backs were a little too abrasive, so the cream backs worked out better.
okay.
I use red backs now in all the open back combos and cabinets because the cream backs just didn't hold up. People were blowing them up and stuff. So I decided to switch so you couldn't blow it up. And I think I like those better.
John Fast 5150, you guys are awesome. Hey, thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
awesome. Don't forget Andy Timmons. Oh, he's a great player.
Great guitar player.
Yeah, fantastic. If you haven't checked out Billy Corgan's interview with Rick Beato, check it out. Pretty interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah. Billy Corgan's a strange dude. Did Kirk ask for a wah pedal to be modded into his Freeman? That's funny. I saw a very Freeman-looking amp in James Hetfield's video that had a Nightmare label. That's a Freeman?
No, don't think so.
Okay. They say it's
Oh,
a
I
good
don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
I'll check it out. Well, guys, I'm gonna hit the hay. It's late for me, and I've been going since like 6:30 this morning. So they're saying the Billy Corgan interview is really good. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'll check it out too.
I watched an interview of him recently talking about he went song by song of the Gish album, which is really my favorite album by them. I
Yeah.
don't know if you've ever listened to that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a good album. Let's see. Now they want to find out what amp it was that Kirk was using.
B100 Deluxe.
Oh,
But
okay.
they own a older B100, a JJ, and a B100 Deluxe.
Okay.
So they've used various things at various times.
Any opinions on Karsten amps? I have not heard of them.
Great amp. At least the Black Dog little amp that he had or has, and then he's a nice guy too. It's in the Chicago area. I don't know about the bigger one he did for Billy Corgan. Don't know anything, but the little combo thing I heard, the Black Dog, I think it was called, was amazing sounding. I almost wanted to buy one. That's how much I liked it.
Wow, that's cool. Well, guys, if you guys have, let's see, I don't think there's any more questions, any more super chats. We're going to be having lots of different guests on. Mike Sullivan from Russian Circles.
That'll be a good one.
He agreed to come on. I don't know if you guys know about Russian Circles. Check them out.
If you don't, check him out. He does some really cool stuff on guitar.
Yeah. Dan at Rev, along with Sean Tubbs, are going to be coming on in the new year. Let's see, Adam Nolly of Get Good, and he does a bunch of different stuff. He's going to come on. Andy Fuchs, we talked about, and then also Paul Cochran of the Tim. We're going to get him set up. So we got a lot of guests coming up for next year. We'll continue with the Ask Dave shows. We'll get to my pedal board at some point one day. That was my little dig.
It's not you're not waiting on me. I'm waiting on the products I wanted to use from Fix.
Oh, it's okay. They're still waiting on that. Cool.
I just think that would make the most sense.
Yeah, we'll get to that next year.
So that's coming. I promise.
Yep. No, I know. I'm just busting your chops. We got a lot of stuff planned for the show, and hopefully next year I'll get a little bit more time and I'll be able to, or even over at some point I'll get some time and do clips of the show and do little shorter things, the post up on YouTube and stuff like that. So, but anyway, you guys have a happy new year.
Yep.
Mark is pissed. I don't have my. I'm not pissed at all with Dave. I'm just joking.
He's got a few things to play through there
Yeah.
behind him. I think you're okay.
I'm fine. Every once in a while, I go, "Oh, where's that pedal? Oh, Dave has it. That's all." That's. But I am definitely not pissed at all. Dave's doing me a
Jason
favor.
Tong, have a good one, guys. Hey, Jason.
Oh, hey, Jason. What's up, buddy? Hope you're doing good. I don't know if you heard, but Richard, a guy who listens to the show, picked up one of your amps and loved it.
And I think
So,
he's in Australia, so yeah.
oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Very good. All right, well, guys, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you. We'll be back probably after the new year. So have a great holiday.
All right, see you guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Hang on, Dave.